Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes is happening at No Chain UFC. Now, who's going to win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances, in which Brian Ortega fought Yair Rodriguez, in which the fight was stopped due to Brian Ortega getting a shoulder injury in round 1.
This is great for Brian. Brian wants to grab. Oh,
what happened?
His shoulder popped out.
And at this, Brian Ortega wants to fight Yair Rodriguez once again, in which Yair Rodriguez dropped Brian Ortega twice in round 1.
Ortega kind of exposed his game plan. Backed up by a left.
But then Brian Ortega brought it back, landed some great shots, and had a lot of ground control in round 2. And then he got him in an arm triangle choke and made him tap in round 3.
He's got him locked up.
Oh, that's in.
And he's got 4 minutes. That's
over.
the tap.
He got it.
Let's take a look at Diego Lopes' latest performances, in which he fought Sodiq Youssef, in which Diego Lopes dropped in twice and put a lot of punishment on Sodiq, in which the rest enough and stopped the fight in round 1. At this, Diego Lopes wanted to fight Dan Ige, and with Diego Lopes won every single round, his striking, grappling, and ground game was great, and he ended up taking it by decision.
By unanimous decision, Diego!
Now, finally, after this fight having to be canceled on the same day that it was supposed to happen, we finally got it. Which, before I talk about how this fight's going to go and who's going to win this fight, let me just say that we have to respect Diego Lopes, because this man has been very active. He has been fighting everyone. For his debut, he fought Mozar Evloev, which Jesse lost, but then he went on to have 4 more fights in which he won them all, which is really impressive. And he's probably been the most active UFC fighter recently. And obviously, this fight with Brian Ortega, that is going to be his 6th fight in just 2 years, which is really impressive. But now let's talk about how this fight's going to go and who's going to win this fight. Well, I said this before, Brian Ortega is fucked because he's not going to be able to beat Diego Lopes in a striking match. And that is because every single time Brian Ortega fights a high-level fighter and the fight stays on feet, he's always getting rocked. And we've seen this multiple times. And that fight against Max Holloway is definitely a good example of this.
Landed nearly 200 at a 52% clip. Ortega retreats.
So if you take that into consideration, on top of the fact that Diego Lopes is a very dangerous fighter when it comes to striking, since he has 10 wins by knockout, meanwhile Diego Lopes only has 3 wins by knockout, and like I said, he's always getting rocked, then you'll definitely understand why I'm saying that he's fucked. So in the end, I believe that if this fight becomes a striking match, then Brian Ortega's at a big risk of getting knocked out. The best case scenario is that he loses by decision. And if you're thinking that Brian Ortega can just look to submit Diego Lopes, well then you're mistaken, because Diego Lopes is also very dangerous in that realm of fighting, so it won't be easy to submit him. If anything, Brian Ortega might get submitted himself, so I got Diego Lopes winning this fight.